A modular package which contains two types of valve, one check valve and another one non-return valve. One is entry point, another one is exit point. One comes from reservoir and it goes to the control surface actuator. This is the pump, hydraulic pump used to pressurize the hydraulic up to 3200 psi. The same, these are isolation valves. These are used to depressurize the system when engineers are working on it to cut off the system supply. That one is also an isolation valve. The above one is a transfer cylinder. There is a larger one, transfer cylinder. This is the largest transfer cylinder here. It provides a delay for the control surface to avoid cavitation and shock loading. This system here is for standby. This is a pump to pressurize. This is standby reservoir, quite a small one, just to operate necessary systems, primary systems just. These are belt cranks, control cables to operate the system. The actuator powers the rotates belt cranks, and in turn they transmit power into the control surfaces. This is turnbuckle designed for adjusting the control surface control cables tension on the ground. They, according to the weather, in hot weather they get loose, in cold weather they get very tight. This is hydraulic filter, quite a corrosive compound, phosphate ester based. You need to be very careful while working on this. This seems like a round clamp, but this is not a round clamp. This is a V clamp to hold it firmly tight. This is one of the most clamps to install. Work with. Takes a quite lot of energy. This is one power control unit for spoiler, and this is a roof of wheel well, or you can say the lower floor of aircraft. This is all pressurized bulkhead. They can withstand pressure, as this area is unpressurized and the area beyond this wall is pressurized. These are landing gears. This is landing gear wheel. Here it contains anti-skid valve as well, anti-skid module. This place is used for recharging the air. This one is used for excessive blowout. Temperatures got excessive during braking. Brakes is inside installed above this axle. It contains steel type brakes. They operate much like the expensive car. These are, you see, small bungee, we call it bungee jumpers, to provide locking, geometrical locking, to avoid the landing gear being retracted. This is locking pin, to physically locking the landing gear so it doesn't retract while on the ground. This is also used for locking when landing gear retracts. This roller here gets locked into that hook, and it acts as a latch mechanism to keep that retracted. This one over here is APU control. This is a small engine in the back of an aircraft, usually used on ground to provide air for air conditioning or run necessary electric supplies when main engine isn't running. This is control over here just for in case of emergency. If fire is over there, engineer can pull this lever at first, shutting off the APU, and then second, discharging of the fire bottle. If fire occurs, red light will illuminate here. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe and like if you want more. I will try to keep uploading the video regarding the aircraft. That's one of the most I say enjoyable experience to work here with. Okay, goodbye. Thing of a compressor, and that one contains combustion chamber and turbine exhaust. Bleed line taken from the air taken from the engine goes to the pre-cooler, then the secondary cooler, finally used as an air conditioning system. Yes, now this is inside of a first reversal cowling. You can see these are stator blades screwed down. Everything is screwed down. As we know the strength of a screws or a fasteners, but we cannot know the strength of a welding nut. See, this is lock wired. Everything is lock wired as well to avoid loosening while in vibration. Everything has, these are clamps. This is the bleed lining. This one here is a shutoff wall. Over here, these are igniter plugs, one over here and one on the other side. These are fuel atomizers going inside the combustion chamber. Ignite. Fuel is ignited in one of the two annular casings of a combustion chamber, and the rest get the flame automatically. This is a fire loop, overheat detection loop. It detects the heating limit and indicates in the cockpit. That's how pilots know if the engine is overheating or not. Quite a lot of sophisticated electronics. This is turbine stage. There's a lot of cooling stuff going on inside. That's the one of the most hottest stage of jet engine. I hope you have enjoyed. This on the other side, this is also the thrust reverser opening called this cowling. Make sure this one is retracted. We cannot open this cowl right now. Its leading edge flap is not retracted. You have heard quite about the actuator. This is the actuator of a leading edge flap. Okay, so this is the other side of the aircraft engine. You can see quite a lot of hoses, usually medium or low pressure hoses. This one is Teleflex cable. This is the only type of a cable that can transmit power in both directions, push or pull. This is used to control aircraft throttle from the cockpit. Pilots, see, this is how you control your aircraft throttle. This one here is CSD, or constant speed drive, to drive this aircraft generator at constant speed. This generator alone can take all the basic necessities, electrical necessities of the aircraft. This is to provide electrical power. This one here is air starter. Lead comes in from the ground cart and pneumatic supply of APU. This rotates, this in turn rotates this accessory gearbox. This accessory gearbox coupled via shaft to a transfer gearbox rotates this one, and this is coupled to the N2 compressor or the core compressor and rotates that. That's how the engine starts. Over here, this is engine oil filter and is engine fuel filter. Currently he is replacing and opening this one, and he is quite, he has opened all. Tap it gently. Yeah, that's how it's out. This is the fuel filter of the aircraft. This is the fuel lining. Of course it's shut off right now. Just a residual fuel is coming out from this one. This is one here, oil fuel filter. This mechanism here controls the throttle. This is one here is main engine control. Fuel comes in and fuel goes in. That's all the throttle control in this area. This one. Accessory gearbox plays a vital role in engine control and running. This one here measures transfer rate of flow. These all are electronic plugs. Keep electrical plugs of aircraft. This is, I'm right now opening one for you people. This is how all the plugs are in aircraft. Some have more holes, some have less, but they have one thing in common, that's teeth and this sleeve. Now installed, and I'm tightening it, and it's being tightened. This is oil pressure switch. It measures oil pressure and displays it inside the cockpit. This is the front of an engine. This is the intake. There must not be any dents over here. These are acoustic panels to reduce the signature of the sound. This is mid-splint shroud. As you may see, it producing clicking sound. This clicking sound is necessary. It gives an indication that blades are not overlapping over each other. If clicking sound is not heard, you are not ready to go.